Hello and welcome to the first episode of Reel It In. This is a probably weekly movie podcast that we're just going to be talking about different movies that are coming out, different movies that we enjoy, cult classics. My name is Kevin Shine and I'm a film student in Maynooth University. And with me is...
Hi, my name's Lee Smith. I'm not really a film guy, honestly. I was kind of asked to just do this show. I'm more of a sport kind of guy.
You know, comedy doesn't really come true on just audio all that much.
A boy can dream, Kev.
Alright.
My voice just broke. Oh God, there goes my
This is all going absolutely swimmingly at the start. So we decided to do this because we are both quite passionate about film. We're hoping to go into filmmaking. And
emphasis on the hope.
Well, yeah, absolutely. So, I mean, we don't really have a plan for this episode.
You told me you had a plan for this episode. You lied to me, didn't you?
I mean, I have a basic outline, I guess.
Alright, then you go ahead. Then you give us that outline, right?
Why don't we talk about the movie that everyone's talking about at the moment?
I thought you wanted to talk about our favourite films at the moment.
We'll get to that.
Why don't we introduce ourselves? Get people to know us, Kevin.
What else do they want to know?
What kind of films do each of us like? What films do we each not like?
Well, okay. I've always said that my favourite film since I saw it is probably The Dark Knight, but that's probably just because I'm a big Batman fan and it is a very, very good film. I think Heath Ledger put in a fantastic performance and yeah, I mean, I just enjoy it.
But what about the mise en scene, the cinematography, the sound editing, the element of transnational cinema that is evoked throughout the film?
Yeah, they're all good. No question. What about you?
One of the hardest lists that you could ever make in your life, I personally believe anyway, is your top 10 favourite films, because it is one that fluctuates every second year.
Oh yeah,
no,
absolutely.
I'm not going to say it, I don't think I've ever gone to the cinema and come out with a film when it's just shown, saying to myself, oh, that's one of my favourite films of all time.
Yeah.
It does have to sit with me for a while, but
yeah.
At the moment, I would have to say that my favourite film of all time would be Harry Potter.
God almighty.
They're all one film, as far as I'm aware. No, what do you mean God almighty?
I mean, they're great movies, don't get me wrong, but favourite film of all time?
Yes.
Alright.
There were films they're always films I can go back to. They're the few films that are out there that I can just watch over and over again.
Yeah.
Like when I'm done Deathly Hallows Part 2, I can say, alright, stick on Philosopher's
Oh no, I love
and I will
Harry
admit
Potter.
that some are better than others, and I will admit that if I was to choose a few over others, I will go with the first 4 films over with the rest of them. This does not include Fantastic Beasts, by the way.
I would hope not.
I like the first one, but the second one was the worst film.
I found the first one, compared to the Harry Potters, I found it quite boring, but I didn't mind it too much. I found it a good sort of standalone movie. I don't really think there needed a sequel, but
it's a prequel, Kevin.
Well, it's a sequel to the first one, to the first Fantastic Beasts,
Oh right, sorry.
And especially not what they gave us. It just wasn't very good.
But you got to remember that what made it all come together, not just Fantastic Beasts, but also
Do not get distracted by the people outside, Lee.
It doesn't help that there's no shutters in here. We were actually just doing. But what set us apart from Harry Potter and Fantastic is the fact that Dumbledore and Grindelwald had an intense sexual relationship, and that just let it all come home for me. You know?
Well, I mean, it's her world. She can,
she can destroy it whatever way she
Oh
wants.
my god.
She can destroy it.
We're
finding another room next week. I'm sorry.
I don't really mind it. But so, I mean, we were going to talk about some guilty pleasures that we have in terms of movies. I would have to say definitely anything that Nick Cage is in. Literally anything. Especially
Nick Cage has made good films.
No, he has made good films.
He
no
has made
question
good
about
films.
that. He has also made some very questionable films with very questionable.
It's like
I think Nick Cage is a good actor.
He's an Academy Award-winning actor.
Yeah, I mean, he is a good actor, but I just love his movies. I find them entirely entertaining. I watched Mom and Dad about a month or two ago, and it was one of the best movies I've ever watched in my life. It was one of the most entertaining movies I've ever watched in my life. It was just good. Well, no, it wasn't. It wasn't very good, but like it was just funny. I mean,
I've always found it tough to watch films that are purposely bad. Like,
yeah.
I can't because like I don't know if it's just the
what do you mean purposely bad? Do you mean like the director wanted to make it bad, like parody or what?
No, like those films that say, oh, you can watch it, but I just know it's so bad that it's kind of good. Like there are a few such as like I can watch The Room, which is just another level.
The Room is one of the only movies in even The Dark Knight I can't say this about, and that is one of my favourite movies of all time. But The Room is one of the only movies that I can watch on repeat and never be not entertained.
Really, because my 21st we watched it and you got bored.
I didn't get bored. I got tired.
Got bored. We got very bored.
It is a great movie though.
In its own merits, yes. But like I've always struggled with those type of things. The main critic just comes along and it's like, I don't like that. I don't like that. I don't like that. Oh, it's supposed to be bad. Yeah, but films aren't supposed to be bad.
No, but I mean, what you have to remember about these movies is like. They might not be everyone's cup of tea, obviously, but like an awful lot of work has gone into every single movie that was ever made.
No, I'm fully aware of that, and like as a filmmaker myself, I know that if you put any product on the table that's
it's
remotely complete, yeah, it is a feat and a half.
Absolutely, yeah.
But
yeah, some are better than others.
A lot better than others. Yeah, but like, in terms for myself, guilty pleasure films, I love Spider-Man 3.
Oh, well, I mean, I think Sam Raimi's Spider-Man trilogy...
No, it's not a guilty pleasure.
No, it's not a guilty pleasure, but
first two films are amazing.
I think everyone loves the three of them. I think the third one is perfect for that universe, in all honesty. Like, I think...
Oh, it is, but like...
It's so Sam Raimi, it's unbelievable.
People were very disappointed that, Venom was done terribly. I would stand by the fact that Spider-Man 3 is a better film than Venom.
Oh, it is. Well, it's a much more, like, entertaining film, anyway.
Oh, 100%. Venom's just a snore.
Yeah,
I didn't Venom actually looks better in... I'm not saying the performance was better. God, no. Tom Hardy trumps Toll for Grace any day, but the design in Spider-Man 3 I think was much better.
I think Tom Hardy was very good in that film.
He was, but like it's Tom Hardy, what do you expect?
It's just that, it's not.
It's like throwing Daniel Day-Lewis into Batman and Robin. You know he's going to be good.
Yeah, but the movie might not. It's just not what I think anyone expected from a Venom movie, like a standalone Venom movie.
People expected it to be good.
Well,
people wanted it R-rated. I understand that argument.
I think it had to be, in all honesty.
That sequel has to be R-rated.
It won't be.
No, it'll be under all ages. Disney hopping on the bandwagon, but that's a discussion for another time.
I wouldn't say Spider-Man 3 is a guilty pleasure though.
Oh, like I don't acknowledge.
And it made a lot of money.
I think it is a good film. I've acknowledged it is silly.
Yeah, it can be.
But like so are 1 and 2, but like Spider-Man 1.
I mean, those movies are cheesy as hell, but they're brilliant.
Spider-Man 1 is on the cusp of being a Power Ranger film.
Oh God, yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, they're cheesy as hell, but they are brilliant. Like, and Sam Raimi brings his style of cheesiness to the franchise, which I think is just fantastic.
Yeah, it is. We're not exactly the most stupidest film critics on the planet. Like, if a film is bad, we will try and find some enjoyment in it. We won't just...
Oh, no, absolutely. I mean, as I said before, like, I give credit for every single thing that anyone has ever put on film, because it might not, as I said, it might not be your cup of tea, but it does take an awful lot of work to make anything. Whether it's the worst 30-minute short you've ever seen in your life, it still took some effort.
Or in an hour and a half Iranian film where nothing happens whatsoever.
That is a masterpiece, apparently, so we're not going to touch that.
Anyone who is doing global cinema at the moment will get that joke, but all 7 of you that are listening to us probably won't.
Alright, so we've been beating around the bush.
Oh God.
There is a movie that people are talking about.
We're jumping right into this in our first episode. Oh, Kevin.
Controversy, I know.
You're jumping straight in there. Now, this is like... I don't know. Like there could be violence after this podcast. Like this podcast could inspire.
Could
violence.
inspire something. Ultimately, yeah. I mean, we're talking about Joker. Todd Phillips' Joker that came out last Thursday.
I thought we were talking about Shaun the Sheep. Farmageddon. Like, have you seen the death threats around that film?
Your comedy is on point here, Lee.
I'm not. I'm actually dead serious.
Why?
There are death traps around Shaun
I
the
didn't
Sheep.
hear that at all. But anyway, Joker. What did you think of it?
Never heard of it actually.
You've seen it.
I saw it last Friday, and I thoroughly enjoyed the film. I would say that it is probably. It's definitely up there and probably like top 10 probably.
Comic book movies.
Probably.
It would definitely be in my top 10.
Not necessarily in my top 10, but the top 10. Like it isn't as good as Batman and Robin or Hulk or Fantastic or. I should stop with the sarcasm. No.
You only want to be employed by these studios, correct, that are making these movies.
Yeah, but well, actually, though, I was going to say studios have a sense of humour, but they really don't.
Yeah, I mean, I thought it was a masterpiece. I thought it was absolutely fantastic. I thought the cinematography was brilliant. I thought the direction was brilliant. I thought Joaquin Phoenix's performance was ridiculously good.
Yeah, like you heard people. It became like a meme in like 2013, 2014. Oh, Leonardo DiCaprio's never gotten an Oscar. Why isn't he got an Oscar? He's such a great actor. You know, he never gets an Oscar for anything. Hello, Joaquin Phoenix, who was.
Well, I mean, Leonardo DiCaprio definitely deserved his Oscar for an awful lot of his performances. Like, he's one of the best actors of the time. But yeah, I agree that Joaquin Phoenix is right up there with him. Like he is a fantastic actor.
Yeah, he is 100%.
Who just puts himself into the role completely. Like, and he doesn't pick bad movies, to be fair.
But then again, you have to harp on, you know, what is an Oscar at the end of the day? It's a statue of a naked golden man. Like,
that's true.
If I wanted one of those, I could just go to Amsterdam and just pay the right price.
We don't need to hear your weekend plans, to be honest.
I'm not going to Amsterdam this weekend. It's next weekend.
But I thought it was brilliant. I thought the direction that they went with it, I was a little bit nervous. Are we going to talk about spoilers in this?
The film is 6 days out, so
I don't think we can. Yeah.
Well, people have the choice in whether or not to log on to this. But we'll just say this: Batman isn't in it. Just forewarning you, because that is a very common criticism about the film on Metacritic.
There was one review.
No, it was actually a couple. But they're saying Batman isn't in this film.
Well,
why isn't Batman in this film?
Technically,
but like Bruce Wayne isn't Batman.
Fair enough.
They're two different entities on a whole, but the criticisms that this film has been receiving on that note, everybody's entitled to their own opinion, as we just said ourselves. But if you're going to make a criticism of a film, have valid points. The film
I can see where people are coming from, but like in my
when you're saying stuff like this film has no layers to it whatsoever.
I
this film is too dark. It's too gritty. It's not fun.
I can see where people are coming from with the whole violence thing. To me, I don't know whether this means that I'm just very desensitized from everything that I've watched.
I'm fully aware of that.
It wasn't a very violent movie. There was some violent scenes. I've seen a lot worse. I watched The Godfather again literally 2 days ago, and it's a much more violent movie than Joker is.
Taxi Driver was another one, which is Joker takes a lot.
I mean, they're all fantastic movies.
If it was to criticise the film, some of the Taxi Driver references are a bit on the nose.
Oh god, yeah. There's an awful lot of references to a lot of movies. There's what was that Robert De Niro one?
The King Comedy.
The King Comedy, that's the one. Yeah.
One of Martin Scorsese's lesser known films. It's still a good film all around.
Did Martin Scorsese have anything to do with this movie?
He dropped out.
There was a rumor that he was writing the script for it.
No, he never wrote the script. The script was written in like 2016, 2017.
Right,
so it was right around when the DCEU started to become a shit show.
Yeah, because there were rumors that he was like producing.
He was going to produce it, but he left halfway through because I don't think it was for creative differences. I think he just left to work on his own project, which is coming out in a few weeks.
Yeah, which does look fantastic.
It does. In terms of Martin Scorsese, like he's not one of my favourite directors. I acknowledge the fact that he's a very talented man, but I won't go out of my way to watch every single one of his films. His films are definitely an acquired taste. Like I love.
Yeah, you need to be in the mood to watch a Martin Scorsese movie.
Some of them more than others. Like I could watch Wolf of Wall Street any day.
It's a great movie.
But Goodfellas takes a lot out of me to get through.
I really like Goodfellas. I don't find Goodfellas a hard watch. To be honest. It's a long movie.
It depends.
But I mean, every Martin Scorsese movie is long.
Yeah, you forget how many of them he actually directed, because like you'd look at.
He's done a lot of movies.
Like he directed The Pirate, didn't he?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
Yeah, he done Cape Fear. He done The Aviator. Any film with Leonardo DiCaprio in the 2000s.
Or Robert De Niro in the 70s and 80s.
He's likely directed. He likes to pick his actors.
Yeah, he picks actors that he just enjoys working with, which is fair enough.
But like you have to, with the controversy that's surrounding Joker at the moment, it makes you realise if Martin Scorsese was still making films like he was,
well, I wouldn't have made it. Yeah, absolutely.
Absolutely not.
I understand where people are coming from. There's no question about that. I do understand people's fears, but like at the end of the day,
especially with regards to past incidents.
Yeah, absolutely. But at the end of the day, it's not film's responsibility to censor itself.
Do you think Todd Phillips went out with the intention?
People.
Do you think Todd Phillips went out with the intention? Oh yeah, I'm going to make a film that's going to cause mass hysteria.
No, I don't think he did. No, I think he just genuinely just wanted to make.
He wanted to tell a great story.
Good Batman comic book film, effectively.
Even above that, he just wanted to tell a great story.
That's also true.
And he pulled it off with flying colours.
It's brilliant.
It is a realistic film, and one of the tragedies I think
it can be a hard watch. I am going to see it again next week, but like, and by hard watch I don't mean like it's boring.
It takes a lot out of you.
Joaquin's performance is
first name basis.
Very is very sometimes uncomfortable to watch, but also you can't really look away from it. I just feel that he absolutely blew it out of the park. He gave.
But then again, you have to
a fantastic performance.
Relate that
for both Arthur Fleck and at the end, spoiler.
But like
Joker.
What?
Yeah, sorry. Jeez. Sorry, Lee.
Next, you're going to be telling me Darth Vader's Luke Skywalker's father. What?
But like, show you,
when you regard the criticism you have behind us, like in terms of his performance has gotten a lot of flack now as well.
Oh, it is. Yeah, it is.
People are regarding him as extremely over the top.
Yeah.
He's either over the top or too insecure.
But I think that's the point.
Like this is an accurate depiction of someone who has a mental illness that is an actual real illness that's out in the world.
Well, I don't know what it is. Like I know it's real, but I don't know if it's an accurate. Like I've never met anyone with.
I've watched videos of it, and it is pretty accurate. And like I guess these responses. Like it's funny because the responses that people are given to his performance.
This first podcast is very heavy.
Social movies. So
we're getting into some serious ground here.
Yeah, next week we're going to talk about Care Bears. So it's going to be a lot.
God Almighty. No, we're going to be talking about Don.
Shut up.
The new DreamWorks movie.
What?
There's a little joke there.
Can you stop when I'm trying to make a valid point?
Yeah, go on.
The criticism that he's getting in this film for his performance actually mirror the characters within the film that like are supposed to be portrayed as negative characters. Like, these are characters that I don't understand this, so he must be a freak. You know?
Well, yeah, that's the point. Yeah.
And I think these, and like as you were saying, you know, of course everybody knows like the controversy regarding the violence in the film, which. Honestly, the body count in this film is stupendously low. So, like, it is probably.
But I think that works.
It works well, but like, I know, but like.
I mean, I know that like in comics and in other media, Joker has gone and.
Oh, he's done some nasty shit. Like
I'm reading. Killed an awful lot of people.
I'm reading
but, like,
Death in the Family at the moment. He does fucked up shit.
Yeah, no, he does. There's no question about that. But like, at the end of the day, this is an origin story of one man. Sort of, if you know what I mean, which makes the lack of violence, I think, a lot more realistic. In all honesty, like, it is just one man.
This film had like a death every like 7 minutes or something like that, then like the punch.
Well, it would be not that I don't like these movies, but it would be basically like a Rambo, a John Wick movie, effectively. Like.
Yeah, exactly. And it would take away from the grittiness, the vast multitude of the film that's happening in front of us, and like it takes away because like when violence does happen in the film. You're taken back by it. Like,
absolutely.
And it comes out, you're like, oh.
Yeah.
And that, like, if you sprinkle, I think what a lot of film directors, when they want to go for shock value and stuff, this is how you do shock value. You don't have a bloodbath from scene 1 to scene 10. You sprinkle it in, and when the punches hit hard, it hits you.
Yeah, but it depends on the theme of the movie. I mean, like, if you are making a Rambo or a John Wick, like, you do need violence every, like, 30 seconds effectively to keep the movie going.
But here's the thing though, what separates the films like John Wick, Rambo, Terminator, whatever, like, those action scenes are meant to entertain.
Oh, I know,
These action scenes I'm talking about in terms of, like, Joker, Taxi Driver, Drive, other films, like these art house type films, these action scenes are these fight scenes, these kills are meant to disturb you. And when you keep, like, someone getting a bullet to the head in a Martin Scorsese film sticks with you a lot more than John Rambo cutting some guy's head off with a machete.
No, absolutely.
Because when you have a long distance of, you know, because, like,
of just mundane,
well, not mundane as in boring, but like
but like just normal, and then there's a spike.
Yeah,
it does impact you a bit.
Because, like, when you see it coming, then, you know,
you're prepared for it.
You're not gonna. Yeah, that's why I think, and we can have this discussion for another day in terms of, like, jump scares. Like, that's a bad way of using these little spikes in horror.
Yeah,
like, jump scares, like,
I mean, sometimes
are ridiculous.
I like watching horror movies that do just have jump scares, especially around this time of year, because I just want to be scared out of my wits, to be honest. Like, watching a movie, like, because, you know, it's Halloween or whatever, and sometimes, like there is an audience for that. There's no question about that. But would you consider it your movie of the year?
Joker?
Yeah. There's been some very good movies this year.
I haven't seen a lot of films this year, honestly.
Endgame was fantastic.
It's not as good as Dark Phoenix.
Dark Phoenix is not bad.
Shut up. Dark Phoenix is bad. I think Dark
Endgame.
See, I could watch Endgame like
easier than Joker.
Oh, even though Endgame is a 3-hour film, I could watch it easier than Joker. I do, as a film of craft, I will say Joker is a better film.
Yeah.
But in terms of rewatch value, I would watch it. I can watch Endgame any day of the year.
I think Joker is my film of the year, but, like, not by an awful long way. Like, I loved Avengers Endgame, don't get me wrong. I thought that movie was fantastic. I thought it ended the Infinity Saga just perfectly, in all honesty. I mean, there's plot holes, but, like, there's going to be plot holes with everything that you do with time travel, in all honesty. Like, you can't do time travel without plot holes. So, I mean, I thought they just did it really, really well. I really liked Rocket Man. I only watched Rocket Man there a couple of weeks ago.
That's a contender for my film. Yeah.
Taron Egerton is, in my opinion, the only guy that can, well, that I've seen anyway yet. I mean, obviously there's some more movies coming out in the next couple of months, but the only guy that can maybe give Joaquin Phoenix a run for his money at the best actor. At the moment. I know people are saying Robert Downey Jr. and don't get me wrong, Robert Downey Jr.
Yeah, he's backed out though.
He gave a fantastic performance in Endgame. There's no question about that. But
he backed out of the race.
Is it an Oscar-winning performance? I don't know.
He's backed out of the race though.
Yeah,
he said himself.
Yeah.
He's backed out. He said, no, I don't want to do it. I've heard a few flares about Bill Hader for It Chapter 2, but that's a supporting role. I haven't seen it. He's
very good in it.
Yeah, and I haven't seen it.
That movie got a lot of criticism for its flow. I think it was the main, like, its spikes, sort of, like, it just mainly its flow, like its flow of time, and I will freely admit it does drag in some parts, if you know what I mean. Mm-hmm. But I really enjoyed it. I thought it was very good. I thought, like, it was very.
Have you read the book?
To a certain extent, yeah.
To a
certain extent, like, well, that's exactly the point. Like, the book does drag sometimes. I thought it was very. There were some differences, but it was very book accurate. My main problem with it too, I would say, was, and it's not a problem that I had with it, but I can see why people would have with it. If you haven't read the book, the second half of the book is so more like just fantasy or like fantasy sort of.
Yeah.
Than the first one, that it's almost like reading a different book, in all honesty, and that's why I think this movie, like, everyone loved the first one. I think the first one, like, did ridiculously well, and, like,
I didn't love the first one, but
well, whatever. A lot of people liked the first one, and I think the second one it is a step above in the outrageous sort of, if you know what I mean. But I loved it. I thought it was really, really good. Bill Skarsgård, once again, like it's just I don't know. I don't quite know how they got a guy so perfect to play that part. Like I was worried when I heard that they were doing another It, because
how can you top Tim Curry?
Tim Curry's performance is by a country mile the best thing in the TV series. Bar maybe Bill's ponytail, I would say.
Oh good God, that's scarier than anything that's in that's scarier than anything that's in these two new films.
But yeah, I mean, Bill Skarsgård like gives a ridiculously good performance in both films as Pennywise the Clown, and yeah, I really enjoyed it. I think this year has been decent for film.
I think all the films that people were looking for, like there's been no massive disappointments.
There's been no massive disappointments. That's true. Yeah. I think Captain Marvel came out this year, didn't it?
It did.
I liked Captain Marvel. I thought Captain Marvel was
good. I did too. I liked it more than Black Panther, which I will stand by as probably one of the most overrated films I've ever watched.
I will say that the one thing that went against, in my opinion, Captain Marvel and Ant-Man and the Wasp, I'm not a massive fan of Ant-Man and the Wasp, but I think it's better than people give it credit for.
Mm-hmm.
I think because there was so much hype between Infinity War and
nobody wants to be those films.
That no MCU film was going to be able to reach that sort of level, if you know what I mean.
Mm-hmm. Nobody wants to be.
If they weren't continuing the story of Infinity War.
Ant-Man's had a pretty rough rap. Like Ant-Man was the first film after Age of Ultron.
Well, I mean,
I like Age of Ultron.
It's okay. It's the worst. It's the most boring of the Avenger movies, of the 4 Avenger movies, in my opinion. But it's still an entertaining movie. There's no question about that. But yeah, I mean, I liked Captain Marvel. I thought it was really good. I thought Brie Larson was very good in it. I thought she was better in Endgame, actually. I preferred Captain Marvel in Endgame.
Because it's directing. It's not the actors, it's the direction that's
Maybe,
given.
Yeah,
Like a good director can give an Oscar-winning actress like a bad performance, but like a good director can give an.
And she is a fantastic actress. There's no question about that.
Yeah, I haven't seen Room, but I've heard it's very good.
I've seen it. She's excellent in it.
The stuff that I've seen her in, she's passable in. Kong Skull Island, I've seen her in.
I think she's good in everything, to be fair.
Well, everyone's kind of passable in Kong Skull Island, bar Sam Jackson.
He's brilliant, yeah. I liked that movie.
Of course you would. But anyway, back to
upcoming movies.
You're jumping the gun here, son. Back to
still talking about Joker.
Yeah, you need to end it.
Well,
you were
how
talking.
am I supposed to end it? It's in my opinion, it's a 10 out of 10 movie. It's exactly what I wanted from the movie.
Mm-hmm.
When I saw the trailers, I was very excited for it. I thought that they were going with a really nice, really gritty feel for it. The one thing I really do like about it is Gotham, in all honesty.
Yeah, it is the best on screen.
It's the best on screen Gotham. Because it's
Christopher Nolan's Dark Knight trilogy. Yeah, they are well shot films, but it's not Gotham City.
Live there, but
it's not Gotham.
It's not a terrible city.
No, in the Christopher Nolan films, it's not Gotham City. That's Chicago. All the streets are.
No, I know, but I still wouldn't want to live there.
But they're all crystal clear and shit.
Oh, I know, yeah.
It's like,
but yeah, no, it's the first one to show Gotham as its true shithole self.
Do you want to see a sequel?
I mean, Joaquin Phoenix is talking about it at the moment. So is Todd Phillips. I don't really know. I'm a bit like what they're saying about it. If they get the script right, and they're both on board to do it again, then yeah, I'd love to see more of his Joker. But I don't really see how this Joker would meet Batman. I'm not entirely sure.
Oh, there's no question about it. In the world of this film, Batman would look blatantly ridiculous.
Maybe not ridiculous, but it'll be harder to do than The Dark Knight, in my opinion.
By Countryman. But I think as well.
But I would like to see it. Yeah, I'd like to see Joaquin Phoenix take on some of the more darker stories that the Joker has been involved in.
Especially with the ending at hand that we were given, it will be hard to keep the ambiguity flowing, because there's a lot of ambiguities surrounding
Yeah, I mean there
surrounding
is
that ending, and
Yeah.
there's a lot of great theories about it's not. You could still keep that ending ambiguous, but it'll be tough. Not impossible, but tough. But I think, as you said, like the script, I think is the most important element.
Yeah, but I think that's what Joaquin and Todd
I
Phillips
know,
are
but like
saying.
then there's that question: can lightning strike twice? Because you've seen
It could.
cast and crew come back for a sequel, and it's been absolute
Like
shite.
as I said yesterday to you, like a lot of people are sort of forgetting this. If we do get a sequel, it will actually be the first time since Cesar Romero that a live action Joker returns.
Mm-hmm.
Like we've never had that. Obviously, no one really knows what's happening with Jared Leto's Joker.
I don't think he even knows because he feels so alienated and isolated.
It doesn't seem like he knows what's happening.
I do feel bad for him. He was kind of like, you know,
I feel really bad for him.
If
I
you were
think
just,
he was put in a terrible, terrible movie, and he was put
and then you figure it's your dream role, and then you figure out, oh yeah, we're just gonna go ahead with this other guy for a while.
The art style for him was not good.
It is one of the worst character redesigns I've ever seen in my entire life. I remember I saw that picture that was released back in 2015.
The remake of the iconic one from The Killing Joke.
No, the first,
the one where he has his hands.
Yeah, and I just looked at that and said, good God, no. Like, there's messing up a character design, and then there's that. Like, the Joker's had.
It's weird to me. Like, the closest that they've come to the comic Joker is definitely Jack Nicholson.
In terms of style.
Yeah,
mm-hmm.
But it's weird to me that they've never tried that, like, just full on, if you know what I mean.
Like Mark Hamill style.
Yeah, like go for the Arkham style, like the Arkham Games style or something like.
They kind of tried it in Gotham.
I still say Willem Dafoe would be amazing, in all honesty.
We'll have to wait for The Lighthouse to see that.
Yeah.
Well, that's the big twist. The Lighthouse is actually a Batman film.
Yeah.
There you go.
But yeah, no, I'd like to see him come back for it. I thought he gave a fantastic performance, and as he says himself, like if the script is right, then yeah, why not?
Mm-hmm. And that script needs to be right.
Oh, 100%.
Because it could easily mess with this film.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah, I'd like to just personally. I think Grant, we got.
I think you'd have to go really balls to the wall with it. That's the thing compared to this one, because you had the twists and you had the turns in this one, but I don't think you can do that now. Like he is full on.
So one thing I will give DC over Marvel is that they can take risks, especially with Marvel now in the clutches of Disney. Like they're very, very wary on taking
Well, yeah, DC it looks like DC are going to be the only ones that we get R-rated comic book movies from, unless Disney make an exception for Deadpool, I presume. Which I don't know if they are.
It all depends.
No one knows if they're going to.
Exactly, it all depends with all their other licensed products like Alien and Predator and all that. Like if they apparently the Alien franchise is still going ahead, but I don't know if it probably will be PG-13.
Ridley Scott's still involved. He wants to make another 5 of them, doesn't he?
He wants to make another 5, then another 7, and I don't know if he's still gonna be alive by then. He probably by then have uploaded his fucking mind into a computer that'll just churn out. That's another series that just needs to just be stripped from its creator. I'm sorry.
I think a reboot would be good.
No.
You want it to continue?
Yeah, make a sequel to pull a what you call it? I can't. Pull a Terminator Genesis, but make it good. Pull a Halloween 2018. That's a good example.
Make a sequel to what?
Aliens, and then just.
Yeah.
Make sure that otherwise just never existed.
Alien 3 isn't terrible.
I think it's fierce boring.
I liked Prometheus.
I like Prometheus too, and I can watch Alien Covenant alright. But it's so stupid.
It's not stupid, but there's a lot.
But its head is way too far up its own arse.
Yeah, when in reality, you go to those movies to see a massive monster try and hunt down people.
Yeah, but you don't need philosophical conversations about the meaning of life and Aristotle's and look on my mighty work, you gods, and all that stuff.
Yeah.
It tones the movie out, and you forget that you're even in the same universe until when the xenomorph, or I don't like calling him xenomorph, when Alien shows up, you're like, oh, I'm in one of these films. Oh, yeah. I thought I was getting a philosophical lecture about meaning of life and where we come from and all that.
Yeah.
And that's why I think Prometheus worked, is because it stood on its own for 2 feet. You could watch Prometheus without even seeing an Alien film before, and you don't even I think.
No, literally, it was just the ending that was a bit of an Easter egg sort of.
Well, not. That's what I did. And of course the whole stuff with the engineers, but like that was one thing. It should have just gone off with the engineers.
Yeah.
And then maybe in like the next, if they had gone ahead with Paradise, which is what the Alien Covenant was going to be called.
Yeah.
You know that it would have been a far superior film than what we got.
Well, the only thing that I want from that franchise is I want a sequel to Alien Isolation.
That's never going to happen.
That's
never going to happen because Kev. See, the problem with that is people want it, and it would sell well.
I love that game. I thought that game was fantastic. It's literally one of my top 10 games.
The logic just isn't there. You can't make a sequel to something that people want that would sell well and make you money. You have to recycle the same stuff over and over again. Or in the show Brilliance, now this is something that they did with the Alien IP.
Very cynical, you know.
And that was actually just so revolutionary and pleased every single fan on the planet. They made a mobile game. And I think
we're not going to get
the
into the marketing strategy of other companies. But
hey, this podcast has been all over the place. I know it's the first episode, but
yeah, we've gotten into some really deep ground. What movies are you looking forward to in the rest of the year? Are you looking forward to Star Wars? I mean, I consider myself a very big Star Wars fan, but
like I'm
kind of
see
stale with the.
I'll see it, but like if it turns out shite, I'm like, alright, go on.
It won't be shite. I mean, The Last Jedi wasn't shite. It wasn't great, but there's no Star Wars movie that is shite. They're not shite. They're not entertaining. But
have you watched episode 2?
Yes.
It's shite. Episode 1 is shite.
But
I know where you're coming from. Look, honestly, I think Last Jedi is the most boring of them all.
Really?
Yeah.
More than Attack of the Clones?
Yeah, because I can laugh at Attack of the Clones.
Yeah.
Because like everyone's actually acting well in Last Jedi, which kind of makes it even more.
J.J. Abrams is making this one, isn't he?
Abrahams.
Yeah. Oh, sorry.
Abrahams.
Yes,
he is. And like, yeah, there you go. Like, I suppose you could have there was a bit of fake, but he has been forced to stick with what Ryan Johnson left behind him. Like, he can't. Disney. It came out. Disney told him, "Oh yeah, you can't retcon any of Last Jedi."
Of course he can't.
I know, but like,
Episode 8 is Episode 8.
I am fully aware of that, but like everything, like, because apparently they're bringing back midichlorians and everything now.
Get in.
But look, what I was saying earlier, if it turns out that Last Jedi, not Last Jedi, Rise of Skywalker, which is a terrible title by the way.
Is it not the last of the Skywalkers or?
No, Rise of Skywalker.
Oh.
If it turns out it's not good or it's meh, I'll be like, I was expecting that. And hopefully I'm looking forward to Mandalorian.
To what? Oh, the Mandalorian. Yeah, you know, I am as well. Yeah, Disney Plus.
That's some deal. I don't like Disney, but that is some
amazing.
deal.
Yeah, no, it looks amazing. I like Disney.
You're part of the problem.
I love Disney. But yeah, no, I think I like, what is it, a $5 a month or something?
Well, we're not getting it to March.
At the earliest, I think.
Or April.
February or March.
I'd see it probably being 10 for us. It's $5.
That makes no sense.
It doesn't.
That would be about €3.
About $5, but like it's gonna go up in price.
Oh, it will. Yeah,
it's gonna be by this time next year. It's gonna be 20 quid a month.
I would say it'd be worth €10 a month.
Oh yeah, every Simpsons
episode. That is one of the biggest selling points for me. Every single Simpsons episode, like, that is huge. And every single MCU film, which makes my Blu-ray collection just rather pointless. Yep, worth absolutely nothing. Absolutely nothing. Streaming. Good lord. But no, I'm seriously looking forward to it. Mandalorian, yeah. The Mandalorian looks amazing, yeah. All of the MCU spin-offs look very, very good. Are they spin-offs or are they just like their own thing, sort of?
They're part of Phase 4.
Yeah, so.
And they're all coming out like within a month of each other. Yeah, which I'm looking for. Phase 4 is just next year. It's just going to be some month. Yeah, Phase 4 is just next year. Or sorry, Spider-Man. No, it's 20. It ends in 2021. Yeah. It's the shortest phase. Yeah, it's 2 years. It ends with Thor, doesn't it? Or is it Guardians? No, Guardians is Phase 5. Is it? Yeah. Oh. I can't see because the Suicide Squad, which is, by the way, is a fantastic title for your film. I like James Gunn. I know you do.
James Gunn, and I have faith that James Gunn might save that, whatever it was. But yeah, I mean,
what films are you looking forward to?
This year, The Irishman and Star Wars, I guess. There's not really much else coming out. That's why I think Joker could do very, very, very well at the box office, because
there's a new Terminator coming out.
Well, yeah.
10 years ago, I would have been.
It is nice to see her back.
Linda Hamilton.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is. But like, with the whole thing about the plot leaks, which are apparently fake now, with what they're doing, like they're doing like, how many times can you reboot that series? Like,
is it a reboot?
Yeah, it ignores 4 and 5.
Right.
It's such a just let this be the last one, please. I love the first two.
First two are amazing, and the third one is good.
Good, yeah, it is a good film. The
is
ending is, I think, because like third one gets a lot of flack. The ending of it is the best part of any Terminator film.
Maybe, yeah.
No,
yeah, the first three are good.
Yeah,
first two are brilliant.
4 is just boring.
Salvation.
I could watch 5 easier than 4.
Genesis.
Yeah.
It's nice that Genesis has irony in it. This one has irony in it, doesn't it?
He does, but I say he'd been in it for like 20 minutes.
Yeah,
better than nothing, I suppose. But yeah, like I always say to myself, oh, that film looks shite. The new Predator looks shite. New Terminator looks shite. New Alien looks shite. I'm just not gonna go see him. So like, I can't really have much to complain about, but I can complain about them when I leave the cinema.
The only franchise that's been rebooted that I've actually genuinely enjoyed, I know you watched Child's Play and you said it was very good.
Oh, I will fully admit that Child's Play, the 2019 one, is the best slasher remake
I haven't seen it yet, but
by a country mile. That is not saying
really enjoyed it.
anything.
I thought they did Halloween last year fantastic.
They did, and I'm looking forward to the 2.
It is the second best movie in the, 13 movies.
Yeah, I think so. 13.
Yeah, quite a few. And I love that franchise. I love all the wacky ones. I even like, isn't it Resurrection?
Oh, yeah, so Resurrection last week. Of course, we're forgetting about the most anticipated horror film of this coming year, Cats.
With James Corden.
Somehow I'm going to be dragged to that, because, my God.
That will be some movie.
I can see that being like the next Greatest Showman. Like, everybody hates it, but like everyone loves it at the same time.
I haven't seen The Greatest Showman.
Neither have I. Not
right.
End of.
That's a great segment. That's the end of the podcast. But no, I'm looking forward to the next couple of Halloweens. They started filming the other day.
Yep. Last week. Halloween Kills the production.
Jamie Lee Curtis put up a photo on Twitter.
Loads of cast members are coming back from the original film, which I don't know.
I think it's nice.
It is nice, but it's kind of hit and miss. Like, can they still act?
She is still brilliant.
Jamie Lee Curtis.
Yeah.
Oh, she's a fantastic actress.
She's a brilliant actress. But like, she's still really good in that role. Like,
like she's fantastic in the 2018 one.
Oh, fantastic! And she was really good in H2O as well.
Yeah.
H2O is a very underrated movie.
It's the
It's the parody one, sort of.
Kinda. It's the Scream one.
Masks. Yeah, it's the Scream one.
It's the Scream one. There's a CGI mask, which I really think.
Chantilly's in it. And she has her car from Psycho.
Oh yeah. And there's a lot of people in that film actually. Yeah. Joseph Gordon-Levitt, Josh Hartnett, Michelle Williams, LL Cool J. Yeah. For some reason.
I love that scene where she drives off in her car from Psycho and the Psycho theme goes on.
Just to hit you over the head saying, yeah, get it.
This is Jamie Lee Curtis' mother.
Get it. And then of course there was the masterpiece duology of Rob Zombie's Halloween's.
I can watch them. No, the second one I can't actually. No, I would freely admit that. The second one I can't. The first one I can watch. The second one I can't.
Rob Zombie's Halloween 2 is top 10 worst films I've ever seen in my entire life.
What's he doing with it? It's so... I don't know how... It's so, like... I don't even know. It's so far gone from the first one. I will still say, though... In both of those movies, one of my favourite performances of anything ever is Malcolm McDowell as Sam Loomis. Because Malcolm McDowell is just fantastic in anything he does.
But the first film was a performance, the second one was a documentary. I'm telling you now, they followed him around with a camera for about 3 days with his publicist and just filmed him.
This is old Loomis.
If I want your opinion, I'll beat it out of you.
It was actually just a picture of Donald Pleasance.
Exactly.
They just photoshopped him in it.
Exactly. But I am looking forward to it.
No, he's brilliant in everything he does, though.
Yeah, it really is the only slasher series that's kind of
Still going. They're doing a new Nightmare on Elm Street.
Yeah.
That is a risky one in my opinion. I think
I'm not a huge Freddy fan.
Freddy worked in the 80s and the 90s. I just think Freddy's cheesiness. Like they tried going for a more serious Freddy in 2010, and it's not bad, but
I don't hate that remake. I know it's not a good film,
but I
could watch it easier than Friday the 13th one because the Friday the 13th one is just such a bore.
Yeah,
we have our Lord and Savior LeBron James.
The only one that, in my opinion, is kind of passable in the noughties.
The noughties
was the Texas Chainsaw ones.
Oh.
I thought they were okay.
Did you see Next Generation with Matthew McConaughey?
Not that one.
Oh,
the remakes in the noughties.
Oh, right. Sorry.
They were okay.
Yeah. I'd never seen them, but I heard the first one was decent.
It's okay. There was a first one, then there was a prequel.
As Arlie Ermine.
I actually liked Leatherface as well.
Oh, you did? Yeah, it's alright.
I think your man's a very good actor.
Yeah. I thought
Sam Strike, I think his name is. I'm not sure.
I don't know. But yeah, like the slasher film genre is like, you know, we had Child's Play this year, and it was a very, very good film. But of course, they decided to release the same day as Toy Story 4, which I know.
Questionable. I liked the marketing. The marketing was brilliant.
But if the film had come out no, not this week because Joker's in the theatre. If it had come out
a couple of weeks time.
If honest to God,
the week of Halloween.
If it had come out at the same time as Terminator, it would have stood.
Oh, probably would have done. Yeah,
it would have done better.
No, it still made twice its budget, but
3 times.
Oh, it made $30 million.
About $30 million against a $10 million, which isn't much.
That is very good, but it is good. Like with a $10 million budget,
and it has like a surprise.
I think that's another thing that we're sort of very desensitized. Like you don't need to make $1 billion to be a good movie or to be a good box office. Like literally, if you just make a profit, you make twice or 3 times your budget, you're doing very well.
It has a 64% on Rotten Tomatoes, which is incredible for a.
That's very good for a slasher, yeah.
Like all the Halloweens are like.
I don't think Halloween 2018 has that.
No, it has 42 or something.
Yeah. The first one has 70 something, I think.
Yeah, it's 78 or something.
Yeah.
And that's on IMDb. If you find a slasher film that's above 7.0, you're like, whoa, this film's a masterpiece. But ratings and stuff, it doesn't matter. What matters is if you go and see the film, if you enjoy it.
And, absolutely, yeah.
I recommend seeing it because I'm not just saying I'm biased because Child's Play is my favorite. The original is my favorite horror film of all time. But if anything, I should be saying that the new one is garbage because they remade my favorite horror film of all time. It's fucking brilliant.
But Mark Hamill, as a voice actor,
Mark Hamill's just amazing all around.
Brilliant. Right, so we're sort of segueing into what we presume what we're going to be talking over the next month about horror films.
What are we going to be talking about, Kevin? Because this is your show.
Oh, it's our show.
It's your show.
Well, that's an excellent question. I don't know, to be honest.
Oh,
great. I haven't prepared.
Ladies and gentlemen, we are in great hands.
I haven't prepared ahead of time, but I'd say we'll probably be talking about horror movies from now on, coming up to Halloween.
You're so original.
I know. No, we should talk about Christmas movies.
Yeah, there we go. We should have a Christmas
or mid-July rom-coms.
Yeah, exactly. Valentine's Day movies.
So yeah, I guess that's it for the first episode.
No.
What the hell was that? So yeah, I mean, I hope you enjoyed it, and for all of you,
if you did,
7, as you said, people that were listening.
If you did enjoy it, don't tell us, please. We're very socially awkward.
Don't say that. And yeah, that'll do it. Thank you very much for listening, and goodbye.